Hello, hello. All right, today I want to talk to you about another article that I wrote back in June 17th, 2020. And basically, it's really for new beginning traders or aspiring traders, and really talking about some of the top or most frequent mistakes that new traders make, and really how to avoid them, right? You're going to make mistakes when you start out. Mistakes are part of the game. The idea is to fail, but fail forward, right? Learn from it and move on. So, one of the things that a lot of traders don't do, including myself when I first started getting into trading, is I didn't really have a trading plan. It's very, very critical, very important that you have a trading plan. You need to identify several factors or items or indicators before you even enter the trade. Some of those things would include, understanding your risk level. Another thing would be, making sure you do research, look at the charts, identify if there's any news or catalyst that's moving the stock, look at the volume of shares that are being traded, and so forth. And then, of course, you want to identify your risk level where you're going to stop out and get out of the trade if the trade goes against you. And, of course, identify some target profit points. Or a particular point where you're going to get out of the trade and book your profits. So definitely want to have a trading plan. You also want to understand your odds of success. You got to start thinking about trading as probabilities and odds. And before getting into any trade, you have to understand, is this a high probable setup? A lot of traders get in wanting to make a quick buck, not knowing what the risks are, and ultimately get wiped out fairly quickly. Or you get into smaller trades over and over and over again and it ends up bleeding your account. And this is primarily due to not understanding and not managing risk. One thing you have to understand is as being a new trader, seasoned trader or even a veteran trader, is first and foremost, you are a risk manager. And once you understand that, everything else kind of starts to fall into place. But manage your risk first. Start thinking of your success in odds, and a lot of things will start to come align in your mind and ultimately in your trading success. Never buy into a company's management team or its hype, particularly when you're trading low float penny stocks, which happens to be, my personal preference. Most of these stocks are, poor companies. They do not have proper balancing financial standing, and they get knocked down. They get beaten down. And so any company that comes in and touts their business, which obviously what they're supposed to do, right? You never want to believe in that because oftentimes it's highly speculative. And highly skeptical what is going on behind the scenes, whether it's an offering or they're raising financing to prop up the stock and ultimately dump the shares when they raise enough money or cash from the investors, the public investors like you and I, retail traders. So one thing to understand, never buy into the hopes and dreams of a particular company or product. One huge thing is being afraid to buy. There's a lot of people that are trigger shy in the very beginning, not wanting to lose any money. Part of the game is losing money. You're going to lose. So you have to understand the ebb and flows of the market and what moves stocks and understand volatility. And ultimately, you have to pull the trigger and buy a stock. And conversely, being afraid to sell. So if the stock is going against you, you got to be able to cut the loss and cut it quickly. That's the only way to really survive is to make sure your losses are smaller than your wins. But also, when you are in a trade, you want to be able to book some profits. You don't want a positive green trade profit turning into a loser, right? So being afraid to sell, you got to understand where the risk is when you are in the green and knowing when to sell at that target profit or even before that target profit. Never follow anybody else's alerts. This is critical. You want to chart your own trades and trading plan and chart your own journey. And ultimately, you want to have a good attitude. Having a bad attitude in this game is going to get you nowhere. So listen up. For additional comments, please leave a comment below. Stay tuned for more.